Welcome to Friday. It is our 6th day of Build Week on the grounds of the Stone Mountain Highland Games. This is our 46th year, and we are proud to be standing here with our drum majors. This year, we are announcing that our longtime drum major, Jim Thompson, is retiring, and he will be passing the mace to Kevin Conquest. And this is just an opportunity to we're giving them to introduce themselves and to talk a little bit about what it is to be a drum major for the mass bands, and a little bit about the history of from each one of them and their perspectives. So I guess I'll start with you, Jim Thompson, since you've been doing this for so many years here. 30. Wow. And we'll just ask a few questions about how things have been with you. How did you get started doing the drum major thing?
Actually, I got started in drum majoring at a very young age with a DCI Corps in Madison, Wisconsin, the Medicine Scouts. And I don't know, you get the needle in the arm, so to speak, and you can't get it out. And this year I'm going to take that needle and get it out and pass it on to Kevin, who's been doing it for a good many years as well.
I imagine you're going to have to scratch that itch occasionally.
Right.
Excellent. Kevin, how did you get started?
I got started in the early 1990s through a high school music program. My school in California had uniforms of a British Guards theme with the scarlet tunics and the bearskins. We had pipers at one point. And through there, as he said, it's kind of like a bug. You catch the bug, and when I was getting out of school, I wanted to continue on, and I took an interest in pipes and took an interest in pipe bands, and it was almost a very natural progression straight in, and I've been doing it ever since.
Excellent. Well, Jim, you said you've been doing the games here for a number of years. This is our 46th year, and I can't remember a games that you weren't involved with from us, and I've been here for...
It's interesting. Thank you for saying that. Actually, I've never missed a games, and I think I would blame my interest in doing it in a Scottish drum major scenario, started by my first attendance at the games when I saw that there was something like I used to do that might get involved in it again. So I found myself a band, the Atlanta Pipe Band, and proceeded to learn the art as it applies to a Scottish drum major. And I had an awful lot of good help and support from a lot of good teachers. And I think that looking back on it, I can say clearly it was a journey I wanted to take, and now that it's coming to a close, it's a bit bittersweet, but it is what it is.
Excellent. They're saying it's a little hard to hear, so I know we're in an outdoor environment and I don't have us mic'd up, but we'll try and do the best we can, folks. Okay. Kevin, you recently got back from working doing some stuff out in Edinburgh with the tattoo and that sort of thing, and I've read that you've recently been issued an award. Would you like to talk a little bit about your experiences here in the last few months?
Certainly. The trip to Scotland in August was for the World Pipe Band Championships. The band that I was with was Dalco Triumph Street out of Vancouver, Canada. Went to the Worlds, and we were in the top 12 of grade 1, which was really exciting for the band. I did make a visit to the Edinburgh Tattoo. I was not on the tattoo, but I did have a chance to visit backstage and at the barracks and see how the mass pipes and drums put everything together for a show of that magnitude, and it was really quite eye-opening. In regards to an award that I received recently, that was the Order of St. John. That is a British Royal Order of Chivalry that started in 1888 under Queen Victoria, and it's granted for various reasons, but mostly to people who are outstanding in their communities. And I was very, very blessed to be given a membership based on all the contributions that I've made to the Scottish culture and Highland Games community.
Oh, well, congratulations, and we're glad to have that with us. The tattoo is something that a lot of our followers followed, especially because we had a couple of our dancers who were able to perform this year in the tattoo, and it's an experience a lot of folks don't get to have, so we're glad to have that, and it had to be a great situation to be able to get to go see how they put that together, because that is a phenomenal performance. Jim, would you like to talk a little bit about some of your favorite memories or games that things that have happened here, either your biggest games, smallest games, biggest challenges, or victories that you'd like to talk about?
Sure. The beginnings of the Stone Mountain Highland Games tattoo was when we really went into high gear, and we had bands from all over the world. We had what is now known as Scottish Power, which at the time was known as British Caledonian. We had Black Watch of Canada. We've had the 48th Highlanders. We've had Metro Police from Toronto. And when you start getting bands of that quality performing in a tattoo, you really lift the whole idea. And we did that back in the late 80s, and we were able to continue it on up until 1998. Unfortunately, the venue that we used was taken from us, which put us in a position where we weren't able to do the tattoo any longer. But the tattoo gave us all the wherewithal on how to do spectaculars in terms of the performance on the field that people will see on Saturday, tomorrow. Mm-hmm. We're using a lot of the techniques and so forth that are sort of tattoo related. We have this year we have 3 waves of bands, and I'll pass to Kevin on how that is going to be composed and how that all works. But let me just say that the highest point I can remember, the high water mark, was in 1998 when we had all those great bands, and they also performed on Saturday and Sunday on our parade field. Literally, the parade field was border to border, top to bottom, pipe band musicians. I think arguably we had the largest mass bands east of the Mississippi, and we had pretty close to 1,000 musicians. And when you consider that we've got in that 500 pipers, that is really an awesome sight, and it's an awesome sound.
Yes.
I'll turn to you, Kevin, and you can explain how this year's performance is going to go.
Okay. As Jim alluded to, the mass bands is all planned out based on a set of routines and timing and how many bands we have. So we have 3 waves of bands, as Jim had said, that are coming onto the field. Everything's spaced out by the number of paces between files, with bands spread out based on their competition grade level. What we try to do is we try to put several good bands in with several beginning bands and space it out musically so that you have an even sound from all sides, front to back, and left and right. So the 3 waves will come on individually, and then once we're in place, we're going to have a change of command ceremony for Mr. Thompson to send him off with our best wishes, and then everybody will step off playing the Green Hills of Tyrol, and battle's over. After that, we'll play Scotland the Brave, and then we'll march off, and that'll be it for the opening show. But then for the closing show, we'll bring them all back out again in the afternoon. We'll find out who our winners were for the day, and of course, if we don't play Amazing Grace at mass bands, we lose all of our gate for next year, so we absolutely will play it.
There are a few songs that you have to play, absolutely. I'm sure the pipers sometimes get tired of them, but the audience absolutely always loves Scotland the Brave, Amazing Grace, my personal favorite, Highland Cathedral. So there's
nothing wrong with your taste.
What's that?
Nothing wrong with your taste.
There we go. Jim, you're actually getting some comments here, some folks who are saying you will forever be loved, and absolutely you will. You've been with us a long, long time, and I do remember those days of the tattoos and the sound that you get from the bands. The way my family first found the games was the pipes from the end of the road. We were walking down there near the mountain itself, and we heard the pipes. Didn't know what was going on. We had just moved to Atlanta, came down, found the Highland Games, and have been coming pretty much ever since. And that was about 1980. So. Right. It is an experience, and so anybody who is watching who hasn't had an opportunity, we definitely encourage them to come out. I will be streaming again like I did last year from the field as well, so that we can let some people have an opportunity to see the show we put on here. We're just grateful to have you guys with us, and the amount of work that goes into it is something I can't wrap my head around, and I know that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't understand. You both alluded a little bit to the grading of bands, and of course people who are not part of the piping community may not be familiar with how that works. Can you kind of maybe just give a real quick high-level overview, because I know we've got piping and drumming for solo competitions going in the back, and then of course the competition going on the rings in the field. So
let me just say at the onset, the best person to answer that question in this vicinity is the president of the Western Pipe Band Association, who happens to be on my right shoulder. So, Kevin, I think you can answer that question.
I did kind of lob that too.
Yeah, thank you for throwing me under the bus, Jim. So in regards to the piping and drumming competitions, as Jim said, there's solo competitions and there's band competitions. So the instruments that are in a pipe band, you have the pipers, of course, and then you have 3 different types of drums. You have snare drums, which make that high rat-tat-tat type sound that everybody's used to. You have the tenor drum, which can be tuned to several different notes based on the channel of the pipes. And then you have the bass drum, which is often tuned to be in unison with the bass drum on the pipes, or similar to that note, it'd be a bagpipe A or very close to a concert B these days. So in regards to the competition, you'll see grades from 5 all the way up through 1 and then professional. 5 being a novice grade where people start at the very beginning for piping, snare drum, and the tenors and bass drum. And then after the mass bands in the morning, you'll see the pipe band competition start up. And this year we have pipe band competition for grades 5 and 4.
Excellent. And the schedules for those are posted on our webpage, so folks can take a look at that. And of course, they will also be in the programs as well. We posted the actual order in what bands are going to be on the field when just a couple days ago. So I think we're going to wrap this up, but I want to just thank everybody for watching. I thank you gentlemen for your time. I know this was kind of an impromptu thing, which is why we didn't have any bright lights and mics and no fancy hotel room interview style. But I just thank you guys for giving us an opportunity to learn a little bit about you and to learn a little bit about what you do. Welcome very much, Kevin, and Jim, thank you for a lifetime of service to us, and we look forward to having you back year after year watching and participating in other ways. So we thank you very much, and everybody, we will see you out here on the field tomorrow.